Hey, welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online. My name is Umbaglo, and today I'm just very quickly playing with one of my alts, because as I mentioned in the original video, Star Trek Online is currently doing its third year anniversary. So they got a bunch of stuff that's going on. And they've also nicely decorated up Earth Space Dock to celebrate. Now the big thing that's going on is that here in the club, I shouldn't say the big thing, but one of the big things that goes on is that good old Q is here to see what's up. If you wanted to, you could. He's got a quest to get people that he's invited to a party, and it's sort of a very quick and easy thing to get some minor awards, and you can do it once a day. But the other thing as well is that you can tell him off, and he'll turn you into something. Just because. Alright, this looks kind of okay. Yeah, this one's kind of broken because it's still showing my weapon for some reason. Well, whatever. He also has a dialogue here for an old Star Trek Online meme, where way back when the game came out, people were having problems finding a quest objective that was very obviously pointed to, and Cryptic has liked to make a joke about it ever since. Another point to note is that is actually not Q, as in John Delancey. That is supposed to be Q's son. I imagine it's something to do with like the cost of licensing the correct guy, because for most of its lifetime, Cryptic has not really been that rich, so they haven't really been able to afford having top name talent. Although now and then they actually do have the real people coming in to reprise roles, like someone that we're going to see in this upcoming mission. So what this mission was added for the third anniversary. It's actually going to stick around for longer, but if you complete the mission during the time frame of the third anniversary, you get a bonus objective. So the setup for this is that in the Azure Nebula, just down the way, there's been some weird temporal anomalies with the and there's been Tholian activity in the area. So it's like, hey, why don't you go check it out and make sure that nothing weird's going on, and we'll give you some cool stuff for doing it. So yeah, we'll accept that. One thing that's kind of neat, and I did actually try doing this before and it broke, so I don't think I'll try it again. But they added a while ago. They added in the ability to just outright pay a bunch of money and then immediately teleport to where the mission begins. Like I said, it broke the last time I did that, so let's not. So like I said, this character I'm playing is actually one of my alts. I already completed this mission with my main character, so this guy isn't quite as leveled up. But one thing that Cryptic is pretty good about is that they've put in technology that basically scales missions up to the level of the people who are attempting it. So the mission will give appropriate enemies and rewards based on your level. So this is the sector space view, which is basically you can basically call it an overworld. You can see here on the map, there's a number of planets in the area. Each one would have a mission if I wasn't already done with this area. You can click on an area and it will automatically fly you to it. You can also click on the arrows on the side to move to a new area, or you can just fly into the side. Because if I clicked on that area down there, it would actually try to fly me to that area of space, which is like, that's just too far away. And actually, this mission that's coming up actually like has very little actual combat. It is just a lot of story, a lot of really cool story. And a lot of this stuff I'm going to really go over once the actual series begins. It's just that because this event is time limited, I figured I might as well record this before it actually ends, and then we can go into it once. Oh, well then. So, this is stuff that I'm going to cover in more detail once it actually comes up. But yeah, for right now, I figured that since this mission is time limit. Well, since the bonus objective from it is time limited, and it's relevant to the 3rd anniversary of Star Trek Online, I figured, hey, I might as well do a recording of it now to show it to you guys. I am still taking votes and comments on what sort of character you'd like to see for when the series actually begins. So please make sure to let me know. So one thing to note actually is that your speed in sector space is actually dependent on your level. As you rank up, you actually get an inherent boost to your speed in sector space, which um, I'm not sure how I feel about that, because on one hand it sort of makes sense because as you level up, you're theoretically going into the next tier of ships, which are faster, but at the same time, it just seems kind of lame that you are you just get faster as you carry on. But at the same time, I mean, once you're max level, you basically fly all throughout the entire game world, or all throughout the galaxy, to do various stuff. Whereas while you're leveling, you basically only you very obviously go from area to area. You're very clearly following a set line as you follow along the mission chain. Okay, so here we are, just approaching the area for this special mission. Yeah, that is actually a really nice effect. As you get closer to the nebula, it sort of makes it act as if you are inside the nebula. Okay. So one thing that's pretty nice is that as you approach basically any planet, it will show you a set of like it'll show you some details about the planet or object, be it even if it's just like generic geographical or whatever you would say to a nebula about what it is, or and it might just mention some events here, some events happened here, things like that. So in any case, let's start this mission. So the first objective you have is nothing too special. As we were told when you get in here, when you pick up the mission, they just want you to investigate some anomalies. I was sort of hoping to be able to really do this in more detail once the series begins, but flying your ship in Star Trek Online is one of my most favorite things about the entire game. Uh, it has a number of different control. Why are those guys all messed up? Whatever. There's basically two main ways you can control your ship. You can use the arrow keys, or, well, not the arrow keys, but you can use WAS, S, and D to angle your ship in various ways. Or there's also a method where if you press both the left and right mouse button, you turn the camera towards an area, and then the ship will turn towards where you're facing, which is basically how I prefer to play the game, because it allows me to use my fingers for, well, I switch between the two. It very much depends on what I'm doing, because if I go with using the arrows, then it allows my fingers to activate abilities, but if I want to just click on abilities, then I would just use WAS and D. One of the things that is in the game as well is that you can control your power levels with a number of different presets, and you can create your own. But generally, the four built-in presets are good enough for almost all purposes. Although, you know, if you wanted to have a different set of balances, you can certainly do that yourself. Turning on full impulse basically ups your speed by a dramatic amount, but it drains power from all your systems and basically moves it towards your mobility. Alright, here we go. We finally managed to catch the anomaly, so we'll just scan it and see what the heck's going on here. Oh, whoop, that can't be good. Yeah, basically a few major content patches ago, Cryptic has started putting in more cutscenes in missions, which look pretty good, and they help tell the story a lot better than what they were doing before. But at the same time, it did some funky things, like your character never talks. Like, you know, you'll see dialogue for your character, but you know, there's no voice dialogue while everyone else will talk to you, and it's a little off-putting. I kind of wish that they just chose someone to voice your captain. Oh, and apparently this mission decides to boost me up to max level anyway. Oh, okay.
Do you have a question?
And they've also been having more voice dialogue for special things. Like, they haven't been doing it for many missions, but things like this.
Thank you, Captain. The Tholian Assembly appreciates your loyalty. So many ship captains threw away their lives needlessly in the days after they annexed this area of space. It'll take a few hours to offload your cargo. Feel free to grab a hot meal in the commissary. I know that comforts can be hard to come by in this sector. I recommend the plomeek soup. It almost tastes like something. Do you need anything else?
Yeah, so in case you guys haven't noticed, there's something weird going on here. A bunch of people you can talk to as well. A lot of them are actually characters that show up in missions. Hello. That you can. Just a lot of these show up in.
You could be informing on me to the Tholians, but if I don't answer, you'll probably tell them I'm hiding something. Fine.
But yeah, a lot of the characters that are in this area, like, you can talk to, and they actually show up in other missions.
My name is Deton. I was born on Romulus. After the war, I signed on to a freighter crew working the Bolian run. My captain got in trouble with the Tholians, and I ended up here. I'm a true and loyal servant of the Tholians, and I don't want any trouble. Now go away and leave me alone. I have work to do. Don't bother me.
To be honest, though, most of the punch of these characters showing up would matter more if you guys had actually already played to level 50. So that pretty much means that like I'll talk to some of these guys, and you may want to reference back to this after we go through some of the plot scenes in the game.
It's too bright in here. Why would you care about me? No one cares about me. I don't even care anymore. Go away. Go away. And leave me alone.
Ah, that's a very pleasant fellow.
Haven't seen
Whoops,
you around
there's
here
some
before,
clipping.
Captain. Got a minute to talk? I know. I asked around about you, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be telling you this, but I need your help. You're not supposed to be here. None of us are. Not in this timeline, I mean. My ship, my crew, we were supposed to do something important. We went through an anomaly, moved through time, and everything changed. We tried to go back. I guess the battle with the Klingons disrupted the anomaly. Instead of getting back where we belong, we ended up here with the Tholians running everything. I'd never even seen a Tholian before. You have to help us set things right. You have to help us get back to our ship.
Oh, time travel. Where would Star Trek be without you?
Me and my crew. There are a little over 100 of us here, scattered throughout the work camp. We're about 65 years ahead of where we should be, according to my math. We were fighting the Romulans. This was back in 2344. And the weapons discharges caused a temporal rift. We passed through, and because we weren't at Narendra to do what we were supposed to do, the timeline changed.
So the few of you who have ever watched Star Trek are probably recognizing what's going
We
on.
ended up in a timeline where the Federation and the Klingon Empire were at war. The Federation was losing, badly. We tried to go back to set things right, but then the Klingons found us and the Enterprise D. There's someone here with us from that timeline. Her name is Tasha. I'll take you to her. Maybe she can help explain this.
Yep. This mission is for those of you who have watched The Next Generation, is basically a continuation of the episode Yesterday's Enterprise. Basically set in the assumption of, well, what if they didn't go back in time? It's not so much that the ship didn't go back in time, it's more that the ship went back and then came forward again because, I don't know, time travel.
We need your help.
And this is another one of the celebrity actors. They actually went and had Denise Crosby come back to reprise her role as Tasha Yar, which is actually a really nice touch, and they've been doing that more often with some other missions that you'll start to see as I go and play through normally.
I'm from Starfleet, and if I'm right, that's a name that should ring bells with you as well. In an alternate timeline from this one, the correct one, Starfleet is still alive and well, and you're a Starfleet officer too. When the Enterprise C moved ahead in time, it created an alternate timeline, one in which I was alive but shouldn't have been. I left with the Enterprise to set things right. We thought we were returning to the Narendra system in 2344 to defend the Klingon colony there from a Romulan attack. We ended up in this nebula in 2409. The Tholians caught us before we could try again, and you can guess the rest. We're going to try to restore the timeline, but to do so, we need the Enterprise C. It's still in the hangar here, and as soon as we get back to her, we'll find the temporal rift and get back to where and when we're supposed to be. To do that, we need your help. Franklin Drake is already helping us. He managed to get an access key used to operate the systems in the hangar control room. We need you to get the code from Drake and use it to open the doors to the hangar control room. I'd go myself, but we've already been here a week. The Tholians know we're trying to get back to the ship. They're watching us. You're new. They won't suspect you're involved. That's the idea, at least. Of course, it's not as simple as getting the code and opening the door. The Tholians have guards on all critical areas. You'll need to slip past the guards and get into the maintenance tunnels. From there, it's a winding maze to the hangar control room, which can only be unlocked from the inside. Once you get in, you'll be able to open the doors. We'll be waiting there to help you free the Enterprise.
Sounds like an adventure. I might as well do it.
Here, take this communicator. It's on a scrambled frequency the Tholians don't monitor, and it'll allow me to contact you while you're on the move. Maybe you can convince someone to cause a distraction. That might make slipping past the guards into the tunnels easier.
Oh, sure. Why not? So, if you actually try to use this door on your way in, it actually will not open from this side. But now that you've completed this phase of the mission, you can just come and go as you please. It's basically just there to make sure that you go where you're supposed to.
Do you have a question? Take it. Here's a map too. You'll need it in the tunnels. I still don't know why I'm risking my neck for this. Don't expect any more help from me. The Federation fell before I was born. I shouldn't even care, but there's something about Yar and Castillo. I know they believe they can make a difference. Makes me want to believe. Do you need anything
Drake.
else?
We'll be seeing more of you soon. And so now we got the key. We got a bunch of people that we can go around and ask for help in trying to make a distraction. And these are all characters that you would see in missions as you play normally. So, yeah, I'll make sure I go and talk to each one.
What do you want? I may be a Klingon, but I am not a fool. Kahless once talked about a man who stepped outside to battle a storm. Kahless went to this man and asked him why he didn't seek shelter. And the man replied that he would stand before the wind and make it respect him. Kahless honored his choice and went inside. The man died. The wind does not respect a fool, and neither do the Tholians. I will not commit suicide, so you can make a pointless attempt at escape.
You really shouldn't be saying that I'm escaping, because, I'm kind of here on my own will, dropping off cargo. I mean, I could just leave whenever I wanted. But anyway, oh, Bavat. Next up.
Looking for something? Do I look like a soldier? I will take on those Thorian goons. Not even you paid me all the gold, crust, platinum, and the sector.
Probably isn't all that much. Alright, Ferric. You're a coward.
I will be free.
Your plan is foolhardy. If you want to die, do it without my assistance.
For a guy who is very insistent on being free, you sure don't jump at the chance to actually try and do it. But, whatever, Obasek. We'll talk to you later.
Have we met? And what do I get for risking my life for you? Nothing, that's what. Not even a drop of Kanar. Find someone else to do your bidding, Captain. I don't take orders from anyone.
Wow, what a sourpuss. Alright, well, I guess there's only one person left I can ask, according to my mission objectives.
How can I assist you? I don't remember the Federation, or Starfleet. The war was almost over before I was born. This is the only life I know. One of servitude, deprivation, loss. I want something better. That freedom my parents and grandparents told me about. I want the Federation back. I'll help. Just tell me what you need.
Yay, someone who's not a coward. So, of course, the mission objective here says wait for the diversion. Yeah, it doesn't really care. Oops, or not. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, it's just as soon as Vake starts yelling at the guy, then you can just sort of walk right by. Now let's go through the Jeffries tubes.
Well done. Those maintenance tunnels are a maze. They make navigating the Jeffries tubes on the Enterprise look easy. I recommend using the map to keep track of where you've been, what doors lead away from which room, and where you are currently.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take a look at this map. Wow, way to go, Franklin. That is utterly useless. Well, all right. It's actually not all that complicated. You have a series of different rooms that you can go into.
We've hit a snag. There are Tholians in the control room. When they're in there, they pump in a Tholian-friendly atmosphere and raise the temperature. It will kill us if we try to enter. You'll need to replace the methane-based atmosphere with something we can breathe, and lower the ambient temperature in the control room before we can continue as planned.
This is a very good question, dear Captain. Why would the Tholians put in something that would hurt them?
The Tholians are very precise. They want to learn everything they can about the ships they're capturing. All rooms connected to the hangars have their atmospheres exchanged to prevent damage to the systems they're dismantling for study. Also, sometimes they force humanoids to do the work for them, so they'll pump in something we can handle.
Oh, well, that makes sense. Wait, oh, whoops. Dead end. Oh, those cryptic. I think that was... I think that guy was in a different location when I played it on my main character. Ah, oh well. Yeah, these things are definitely in different locations. Oh, Elder Tribble, please share your wisdom. And then you realize that you're talking to a Tribble. So let's get out of here before the fumes take us out. Oh, hey, here we go. I'll just interact with this box a number of times, and oh, those Tholians aren't going to notice that I've created an atmosphere, an oxygen atmosphere in their room already. I can continue wandering around some more. Oh, convenient. I'll just drop the temperature. Whoop, which causes them all to violently die instantly. Level appropriate item. Oh, which actually did give something fairly appropriate. I'll cover items later, really. This isn't quite the video for it. How am I doing? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so there's 3 special areas that you can visit in the maintenance tunnels. Each one having something special and an accolade, which is basically an achievement. And then you get another achievement for completing the whole map. So, nothing special. And hey, there's my buddies.
Looks like the Enterprise C's transporters are still online. We can beam the rest of the crew onto the ship before we leave.
We need to work together. What do you want me to do? I was the helm officer on the Enterprise before everything went to hell. But I'm really handy with heavy machinery, like those clamps holding the ship. And I know I could take care of those and get us free. If you need me to do something else, maybe I could work on that web shield. It will need to come down before we can fly out of here. Or the ship's power. I know every inch of the old girl. If I could figure out the Tholian interface, I might be able to connect to the ship and restore the power remotely.
Yeah, so basically this next stage is we got me and the three buddies here. And each of us need to do
work
something to
help
help release the Enterprise C. So you know, he said that he's pretty good with the donkey clamps. So hey, let's have you do that.
I am here to assist. What do you... My first posting in Starfleet was to an ambassador-class vessel. I am familiar with most of the ship's systems, but I spent several months working on a refit of the ship's computer. I am confident I can restore the ship's power levels quickly. Also, I do have some experience with Tholian technology from my time in the Resistance. If you prefer, I could attempt to deactivate the web shield or tractor beams. I am here to assist. What
You said
do
you're good
require?
with the power levels, so hey, we'll have you do that.
We don't have
How
much
about you,
time.
Tasha?
I know a few tricks to take that tractor beam system offline. I'm also fairly confident that with enough time, I can release the docking clamps holding the ship, or take down the Tholian's web shielding. We don't have much time.
You said you're good with the tractor beam. And then that means I get to play around with the web emitters. Which is pretty much just standing in front of something and activating it a bunch of times, because you already know what to do.
Overriding security protocols.
One thing that's actually pretty nice is that as your other guys take care of the things, you actually see the things, the stuff deactivate on the ship itself. Like that was the web generator, which you can see is now no longer
I'm changing the
there.
targeting subroutines for the tractor beams.
And there was a large clamp that was here, which has now been moved away because the other guy has taken care of that. So when Tasha finishes with the tractor beams,
Tractor beam is disabled.
those lights have vanished. Alright. So now that everyone's done their duties, let's head over to the ship. You know, nothing will happen at all as we walk this way. Oh
I thought
no!
you deactivated all the security protocols.
Maybe.
Do you want me to do that for you? I know a few things about force fields.
You know, as much as I would like to do that, the controls will not let me do that.
Having trouble? You do know that we could have Tholians swarming us any minute, right?
In an oxygen-rich atmosphere?
I thought we took care of everything. Starfleet Protocol 547C clearly states that...
I don't think the Tholians have heard of Protocol 547C.
That's okay. I'm pretty good at deactivating force fields by staring at them. And that is a really nice shot of the Enterprise C leaving the dock. Right, so now that I'm in the Enterprise, let's get rid of the base. We got a...
I'm detecting
or
Tholian mesh
not.
weavers headed for our position.
Oh, looks like we're not going to be able to get out of here quite so easily. Alright, so, combat in Star Trek Online is one of my favorite parts of the game. Because basically, combat in Star Trek Online played just like the old Starfleet Command games, except it's pretty much an action game instead of it being more strategic. So, ships have a number of weapon slots that you can put weapons into, and each weapon has a firing arc of one form or another. So you can see here that you can't see it very well. That's a better angle. So you can see how like the phaser arc has a 250-degree firing radius. So it can pretty much shoot anywhere except right behind you if it's in a rear slot, or right in front of you if it's in. Sorry. It'll shoot anywhere except right behind you if it's in a forward slot, or anywhere but right in front of you in a rear slot. There's also the dual bank with, oh dear, these guys are kind of wrecking me. The dual banks have a thinner firing arc, but they deal more damage. Torpedoes also have a thinner firing arc, but deal a lot of damage, but they mostly deal kinetic damage. And kinetic damage doesn't pierce shields very well. You pretty much need to use. So the way combat is supposed to work is that you use your beam weapons to take out enemy shields, and then beam weapons don't do the best against their hull, but they still do decent damage. And then you use your torpedoes on the hull to do the most damage. And it looks like, hey, we got some help. Someone who just, like, I don't know why they have the warp out animation there for him, because he actually doesn't leave. Yeah, mysterious dude. We could totally use some help. So another thing as well is that the ships have a number of basically, yeah, you can basically say that they are slots for officers. Like it's basically the dudes on your bridge, and once you've slotted someone onto one of the bridge officer slots, they have various powers that you can use. Things like hull heals, or firing your weapons all willy-nilly, or just giving you buffs on your weapon attacks. Just things like that. Managing your shields is also very important. You can use the arrow keys or just clicking on these sections to redirect power to various shield facings. So if you were like this, the Enterprise C is basically a cruiser.
The temporal anomaly has been stabilized. Head for the anomaly, Enterprise. It will put you back where you need to be.
And as a cruiser, it's designed to basically circle strafe an enemy. Oh, they didn't
That's my
like
job.
me doing that.
The details aren't important. Restoring the timeline is. Get moving. The Tholians are already starting to regroup.
All right, thanks, mysterious guy. Let's get the heck out of here. They got various powers that help me restore my shields. Like this one, emergency power to shields. How appropriate for the series. And it's just basically an instant health recovery on your shields. And you got auxiliary power to the structural integrity field, which gives you more, which just gives you health back. It's just things like that. And you can also set weapons to automatically fire once you get into combat. And as long as the weapon has a targeted enemy in range, it'll just keep blasting them, which is very useful for ships like the cruiser, where you want to, and especially when you start getting into ships that have a lot of weapon slots. Like you see here, I've got 8 slots. Trying to click on each weapon to manually fire them, not gonna work. Oh, this one is a phaser turret. Turrets will shoot in all directions, which means that they are the best put in a rear slot. But they don't deal a whole lot of damage as a result. But they will always be able to fire on someone. So they are very useful for a number of ship types. Not the best for a cruiser, but it can still be useful to have one on you. Whoops. What happened here?
I'm sure you've realized by now, you're part of a very different timeline. This one is an aberration that we are here to correct. It would be irresponsible of us to let you go back in time with the Enterprise C, and compromise that timeline as well. We'll send you back to your time. There are still some very important events in the 25th century that you need to be a part of. As soon as the Enterprise C returns to its correct place in history, the timeline should right itself.
Whoop, just like that. Alright, so one thing that's kind of annoying is that Cryptic is actually really good at keeping your slots. Basically, as you switch ships, it's very good at remembering the loadout of each ship for your bridge officers and your power trays and things like that. However, it really doesn't like it when you change ships as part of a mission. Like when you have a mission that forces you to use a different ship, it really doesn't like that. In any case, we'll scan for the anomaly, because that's what we're here for. Oh dear, it's apparently gone. Oh, all right then. We'll just leave. And I can just use my quick travel transwarp to just head back to Earth Space Dock and turn in this mission. I mean, I could probably just call the guy that gave it to me and just do it remotely, but I'll just go back to the space dock. There's something I wanted to show, and hopefully hopefully someone will have done it by now. And here's the thing: is that as you get close to space dock, the button to dock shows up. As you get close to it, you actually get a debuff that prevents you from moving very quickly. And if you get really close to it, you just automatically dock. In fact, I think I need to head up to basically up here. Whatever. I can do that later. Alright, now let's go back to the engineer fellow and let him know that, hey, we didn't actually see anything out there, I don't know what's going on, but hey, by doing that, they gave me my own Enterprise C. In fact, 2 of them. So this mission. Oh, hey, there we go. Dudes are playing around with the balloon maker.
Congratulations, Commander.
Oh, hey, and I level up from that. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so someone's playing around with a balloon maker. One of the... oh, hey! That's exactly what I wanted to see. Yeah, so one of the items you get from doing Q's thing is basically a party popper. And you can do crazy things like make balloons. And one of the balloons is, in fact, a balloon enterprise. And there's also a balloon Klingon warbird, which is pretty awesome. But, you know. So, yeah. By completing that mission, it gives you 2 boxes. One box gives you a ship that requires commander rank, which is at level 21 and higher. And the other one requires rear admiral lower half, which is level 40 and higher. 40? No, it's level 50. And basically, each one is just a different tier of the same starship with different stats. And in fact, you can see, we can just take a look at it right here. The Enterprise C that you get from doing this is nothing special. It's really just a generic ship of its rank, because it doesn't come with a special ability like the store-bought ships do. Which is kind of a shame that they didn't decide to go all out on it, but at the same time, it's still really nice that they finally added the Ambassador class as an option. And a lot of the special powers you can get from store-bought ships can be moved into the Ambassador class anyway, so if you really wanted to use it, it's certainly an option for you. This character is based on escorts, because I have him as a tactical. So as a result, the cruisers aren't really the best things for him, but, you know, hey, it's still... one thing that's nice is that once you've unlocked a ship on a character, you can dismiss it and then just get it again for free. So even if unfortunately these are bound to me, so I can't just like give them away. Not that I would want to, but I could register them, dismiss the ships, and then if I wanted to use a cruiser later on, then I can just pull them back out of space dock and then just set them back up again. But in any case, that is the special mission that came with the 3rd anniversary. It is available right now. You need to be at least level 6 in order to do it. The version, if you complete it between now and I believe February 14th or maybe 13th, then you will be able to get the Tier 5 Enterprise C as well. But the mission will still be available after that for those who happen to come late. It's just that you will not get the Tier 5 version, you will only get the Tier 3. Another thing that you get from doing that is, in fact, the sash belt from yesterday's Enterprise. In fact, I'll just very quickly show that off as well, and show off the tailor a little bit more. Which is, it's a nice touch that they did that. Whee! Q is pretty great in this game. Oh, as an interesting throwback, most of the tailors in Star Trek Online are Cardassian. There's a few that aren't. There's a Bajoran one. Amusingly enough, the one on Deep Space Nine is not a Cardassian, which you will see later on, which is kind of a shame. But, whatever. But anyway, I can choose to modify my costume. Oh, and even though it's a tailor, you can in fact choose to change various types of your body design as well. Oops, I better, because I don't want to. I actually don't want to use those. So okay. Okay, so this is actually the first thing for chest gear, which allows you to have this pretty nice sash belt. You know, there's other things you can have. Like if I had, I guess I don't have it on this character, but on another character, I have Worf's sash as an option, which would show up here as an entirely different selection as well. So if you really wanted to, you could have a belt and the sash belt and a sash at the same time, and then you'd be prepared for everything. Why is my hair gone? Oh, that's weird. For some reason it oh. I guess apparently the hairstyle I chose for this character is no longer actually an option. Oh, that's kind of a shame. Okay, well, I guess I'm not... Huh. Weird. Weird. Why is that not... Oh, whatever. Anyway, Taylor. Star Trek Online. The game's pretty great. Yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you guys let me know what you want to see when I actually start for real. And just... Or any other comments that you have about the game, or anything that you've seen. Until next time, though, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.